In this video, we're going to be talking about oxidation and reduction. You can abbreviate it as redox reaction. Now, in a redox reaction, it involves electrons moving between atoms. Take for instance, we have atom A and atom B. Now, the electron is moving from atom A to atom B, thereby making atom A to be oxidized. Why is it oxidized? It's oxidized because it loses an electron. Now, atom B that gains an electron, it becomes reduced. It becomes reduced because what? It gains an electron. So, whenever an atom gains an electron, it becomes reduced. Whenever an atom loses an electron, it becomes oxidized. And therefore, this combined reaction is known as redox reaction. Now, whenever an atom gains electron, it's reduced because electrons are negatively charged. So take for instance the little chart we have here. We have add of electron. Now we have for instance an atom that has 3 plus 3 charge. Now when you add one electrons, it drops down to plus 2 because what? Minus 1 plus 3 is plus 2. When you add another electron, because electrons always have negatively charged, they are negatively charged. So when you add another electron, you see it drops down to plus 1. If you add another electron, plus 1 minus 1, it becomes 0. If you add another electron, it becomes minus 1. If you add another electron, it becomes minus 2, and so forth. So it tells you that whenever you are adding an electron to an atom, what you get is charge, the total overall charge will be reduced. Now, let's look at this equation. Sodium and chlorine reacting together to give us sodium chloride. Now, before these two react to give us chlorine, at first they were neutral, in the sense that they were electrically neutral, and then they need to have charge to be able to give us sodium chloride. Now, let's talk about how they got charged to end up giving us sodium chloride. We have sodium, and then we have chlorine. Now, sodium transfers one electron to chlorine. Therefore, sodium becomes positively charged because it loses one electron, while chlorine gains an electron and becomes negatively charged. Now, chlorine becomes negatively charged because it gains an electron. But at first, both were electrically neutral. So, now let's write down an equation that shows oxidation and reduction. For the aspect of reduction, we say chlorine, you add it with an electron because it's gaining an electron. Therefore, what you have will be chlorine having negative charge. That is for reduction. Now, for oxidation, we can say sodium. Now, you might be tempted to say because sodium loses an electron, you say minus electron, then you say sodium positive. But that is not the case. Why? Because in reduction, in redox reaction, minus is not part of the equation. You cannot put minus in the equation, in the redox equation. Therefore, what you do here is the case is that because it's a little bit tricky, you put sodium, then you put your arrow, then you put sodium positive plus electron. Right? Now, when you have these two electrons like this, to combine these two half equations to give us a full redox equation, we will add the two together. You see, whatever is in this other side of the arrow, you add it together. And whatever is this other side of the arrow, you add together. So therefore, we say sodium plus chlorine plus electron. Then you put the arrow. Whatever is in the other side, you also put it. You say sodium plus chlorine, right, plus electron. Now, positive electron will cancel electron, right? Therefore, what you now have is going to be sodium plus chlorine. Now, negative positive will attract itself because what? Opposite charges attract, while like charges attract, while unlike charges, like charges repel, while unlike charges attract. Therefore, we have sodium chloride. So this is how you write down the redox reaction. Now, for the half reactions, we know that this is a half reaction of oxidation, of reduction, and this is a half reaction of oxidation. And also take note that oxidation and reduction occurs at the same time, because this very same time that chlorine is acquiring the electron is the same time that sodium is losing the electron. So immediately sodium loses the electron, chlorine acquires the electron. So both reduction and oxidation are occurring at the same time.